Today's podcast will focus on adopting a dog meat trade survivor. We will delve into the whole adoption process with Brandy Chervin, President of Adoptions at No Dogs Left Behind. No Dogs Left Behind is a registered charity working tirelessly at ending the dog meat trade in China. Through international alliances and local resources, they are engaged on the front lines at every stage of rescue, from emergency response to the dogs finally being adopted and everything in between. The No Dogs Left Behind team is working transparently to allow their many supporters to be part of the mission. Following our interview, we will be showcasing 10 dogs from the iconic 619 and 505 rescue at Yulin's infamous Dog Meat Festival that were rescued back in 2017 by Jeff Beri and the No Dogs Left Behind team. These dogs are still living at one of the No Dogs Left Behind sanctuaries located in China, and they are yearning for their forever home. If anyone is interested in adopting one of these survivors, we will post all the links and information you need for further inquiry in the description box. So welcome to the show, Brandy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show today. I know you guys are so busy, and you recently had a lot of these dogs come and fly into the U.S. and Canada, so this is a great victory. And I'm extremely passionate about this cause, and obviously I feel adoptions is a huge aspect that needs to be, considered, because so long as these dogs are left at the shelter in China, it obviously hinders their behavior, progress, and also it hinders your ability as an organization to carry out future rescues. So adoption is a huge part of the solution, and we want to encourage families to consider adopting a survivor. And so you'll be able to put our minds at ease and, answer any questions that, is probably at the top of the mind of anyone considering adopting such a dog. But before we get into the whole gist of our topic today, I always want to ask my guests a question that's really important to me. And if you wouldn't mind telling us, when and how did you first hear about the dog meat trade?
Well, first and foremost, I'm vegan, and so is our staff. We're a vegan foundation, which obviously we feed the dogs vegan dog food as well.
Yes, I remember Jeff mentioned that, and I was really surprised. But dogs, as opposed to cats, they can do very well on a vegan diet, I believe.
Yeah, they're omnivores. They can do either or both.
Yes.
So as far as when I first learned about the dog meat trade, I learned about the dog meat trade years ago, but I never really dove into it until about 3 years ago. I always knew they ate dogs in China. I didn't know to the degree that the cruelty and the brutality that they instill upon these dogs. 3 years ago, my daughter was graduating high school. And she said, Mom, I want to adopt my own dog, and that's what I want for my graduation gift. And I said, okay, well, if you're going to adopt a dog, this dog has to be in need. We're not going to a breeder. We don't do that. And so she found No Dogs Left Behind, showed me the website. And as soon as I saw some of the images of the rescues, it just sparked in me. I needed to know more. I needed to know what happens, what's going on over there.
Yeah.
And then once I out, the rest was history. I couldn't look back.
Wow, so that's amazing. It's your daughter that actually discovered No Dogs Left Behind. She did her own research, and your daughter, it was her graduation present, and I'm assuming you made good on your word to her and you adopted one of them?
Well, I didn't adopt one. She found Charlie. His original name was King in the shelter. She renamed him Charlie. And in a video of Charlie, I saw this 3-legged dog hopping around in the background. And I said, well, who's that? And then I inquired upon her with Jeff, and he told me her story. And I said, well, I guess we're adopting too.
Oh, so my God, so you got both. I believe the second dog that you noticed on their website is actually Sunny, your dog that you adopted. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's next to you. I don't know if there's a way you could show us a little bit of a glimpse of this beautiful dog.
see.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh my God. That's Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. You're so beautiful. Is he a
That's
boy? Is it a male or female?
she's a female.
Oh, Sunny, she's so cute. And so this was 3 years ago. So I guess 2017. Is that?
Yeah.
So she was one of the dogs rescued from the truck, the famous 619.
Yeah, she
Wow.
was.
Oh, wow. And so now you have two dogs, but I believe there's a third, if I'm not mistaken. We were talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so Charlie and Chloe, Chloe's my daughter, they moved out into their own place. I have three survivors from China. I have Sunny, and then I have Finn and Brian.
Finn and Brian, and all from the same truck rescue?
No, no, Finn and Brian are from separate rescues. They're more recent.
Ah, okay. So it was more recent that you adopted those two.
Yeah, I adopted those two within the last year.
And how are they adapting? I mean, especially the more recent dogs. Were they at the shelter for a long time before you adopted them, or?
No, I believe Finn was there for maybe about 5, 6 months, and Brian was there probably about the same time.
In
Right?
2019 they were rescued, or okay, I guess in
Yeah,
2020?
2019.
Okay,
2019.
2019. And how are they getting along? Are they able to all make peace and no one's fighting for territory or for
No,
mom's
no,
attention?
not at all. They all get along very well. I have a cat too, and they get along with my cat. They're excellent dogs.
Wow, so you have a full house.
I,
And I have a feeling it's not your last dog that you're going to be adopting, but we'll keep track. So I guess my other question for you was when and how did you first become involved with No Dogs Left Behind? So now we know how you discovered them, but how did you go about becoming part of the organization? And I believe you're president of adoptions. And how did that come about?
well, it was actually kind of funny. Jeff and I became kind of friends in a sense because he saw my progress with Sunny because Sunny couldn't be touched at the shelter. I mean, not even with a fingertip. She was so scared. I believe more PTSD than anything else. And so I spent a lot of time with her, a lot of time training her, letting her get to know me. I wanted to, break down her walls a little bit and have her learn how to trust.
Yeah.
And I would send him updates, and he was just really happy and impressed with her progress. And then one day he called me, and he said, "Hey, how about coming on and helping with adoptions?" I said, "Okay." So I just, I started out, just volunteering, and then it went from adoptions to transports, and then it went from a couple hours a day to full time. And,
Wow.
about a year ago, he promoted me to president of adoptions.
Wow, you must be doing a really good job.
Yeah, sure.
Apparently, you got that little magic touch, especially with a dog like Sunny, who's so traumatized. I mean, she's missing a leg. We can assume it was she lost her limb when she was in transport, and do you
Well,
know a little bit more of her story?
I do. He told me that, well, as you know, with the 619 truck, I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube. So she was in that truck, and when he found her, he said her leg was almost completely severed and dangling from her body. So it couldn't be saved. So they had to amputate. He took extremely good care of her, as he does with all of the dogs. I mean,
Yeah.
Sunny herself, the fact that she lost her leg and went through all of that, but still after all this time is what I meant to say, that she would gain trust for a person, and that she would actually interact as well as she does with, I mean, we have little kids that come over here, we have people that come over, and she does, she'll hide here and there, and she'll go into like safe spaces and stuff, but she, for the most part, is a pretty well-adjusted dog at this point.
Wow.
And I owe a lot of that to all the care that she did get at the sanctuary. They took a very good care of her, very good care.
And by the sound of it, they do keep they do follow up, the families that adopt these dogs, because I mean clearly he did follow up with you and was able to see that you were really doing a lot of good work with Sunny. So I guess that'll be part of the questions I ask, because when you adopt such a dog, you want to feel like you're going to have like the resources and the support that you need to be able to transition this dog into your family. And so I guess that's part of your adoption. I guess the perks of adopting from No Dogs Left Behind is that you're part of a group, and that, you know, people can interact with other adopters and gain some insight, and, you know, what works for one family might work for your family. So that's all part of what you're offering prospective families when they adopt a dog from No Dogs Left Behind, is that they're part of a family now, and, you know, if they have questions, I'm sure they can interact with you or another staff member. Is that?
Yeah, actually, we every time somebody adopts a dog from us, we always say welcome to the NDLB family, because that's essentially what we are.
Yeah.
And anytime somebody has a question or they have a concern, we always encourage. They have my personal cell phone number. We also have WhatsApp groups that we set up, because I mean, some people are in Canada and some people are in the UK. So we did form a lot of little WhatsApp communities with adopters that have dogs that are in the same room, so that way they can get to know each other, and then they can see each other's dogs too. Anyone can contact me. I do have people that work with me too that reach out in those groups, so there's always somebody there on hand if somebody needs something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's good, because I recently did a podcast with a dog that was flown into the U.S. recently, Jasper. He used to be called Flash. And he was adopted by Lord Sierra, who lives in Michigan, U.S. And she was telling me that inclusion, or that, you know, I guess you're able to make connections and network with other adoptive families, and she said that's really priceless. You know, like she's actually formed friendships from that, you know, from the group. So another reason why adopting from No Dogs Left Behind is a really good idea. If you're looking to adopt for a survivor like this, at least you have all the resources and support. So obviously, ultimate goal for every dog that you save and rescue is to find them their forever home. And I'm just curious if you could walk us through the process from, okay, so let's say I want to adopt a survivor. We'll use me for example, because I do want to adopt one. It's definitely in my future. I don't know exactly when, but I would like to know, what do? I go on your website, I look at the adoption page, and you have a picture and a brief description for every dog that's available. And can you walk us through the process? What do I do? From that point, I fill out an application and...
Yeah, you would fill out an application, and that application comes to me. And they'll ask you some personal questions about, like, you know, your other dogs in the house, cats, whatever kind of animals you have, your family members, how many. And that's important, because, you know, some dogs might not be good around families of 10, you know, because they're just too skittish. Yeah. Or maybe some wouldn't be good around, you know, like toddlers running around because they're too skittish. Yeah. So we need to know pretty much everything about you, and you'll fill all that out. I'll read it, and then I'll give you a call. I always give everybody a call. I don't ever approve an application without having a phone interview with somebody, because that's the best way for me to personally get to know them without actually coming to meet them.
Right.
So after that, I would ask for pictures of the inside of the home, pictures of the yard, pictures of any pets in their house, and then they would fill out an adoption agreement, and we would also get a picture of their driver's license for identification purposes at the airport.
Okay, well, the application process, is it really lengthy? Like, can you give us an idea of what kind of, I mean, do they have to include pictures right then and there, or that follows? I mean, once they submit...
Yeah, it's just more of a process. I mean, it just kind of depends. I mean, I've had adoptions that have only taken me a few days to get through, and then sometimes people are busy, and then it takes them a while to send me their pictures, and maybe on different time zones, so we're missing each other on the call. But I like to be prompt about it for sure, because it's urgent. I mean, these dogs aren't, even though this
Yeah,
isn't or a adoption place here in America where the dogs are always safe. You want to get them, home. You want to get them out, and it's
absolutely. I think that's super important in their own progress, like obviously they need to be able to feel at ease. But in my head, I'm assuming that the dogs that have been at your shelter since 2017, in many ways, I guess you got the rough patch, like in my mind, like the dogs are really traumatized. You went through all the physical issues with the dog, like wounds or, like disease. And once that's all cleared out, they have a chance to actually get into a routine. I know Jeff, last time he was on the podcast, he told me that they have a routine. They take the dogs for walks at this hour. They feed them at this hour. So I guess the dog has a semblance of what it's like to be part of a family in a way, like it's a shelter, but still he gets to interact with people and gain their trust. And so by the time they arrive here and they're with their new families, I'm sure the transition is that much easier, than if they were rescued off the truck and a few months later they were in your home. I think that would be a little bit more difficult. Would you say?
Yeah, right. The routine that they do with the dogs at the sanctuary, it gives them a form of stability to where they know, okay, I'm being let out at this time, I get to eat at this time, I get to play at this time. So yeah, I mean, it does help for when they get home for sure. And they're interacting with the staff members every day too. So, and that definitely helps as well.
So I believe in China, No Dogs Left Behind had 3 sanctuaries, one in Beijing that had to be evacuated, I guess, and after COVID hit for XYZ reason. I think the government had to reappropriate that land. But you have 2 sanctuaries left in China, Dayi and Gongyi, right? So
Right.
those are your 2 main shelters in China. And can you tell us, like, the shelters, the staff is mostly Chinese, right? Like they're Chinese activists or volunteers that work there? Or?
Yeah, yes. It's mostly Chinese activists and volunteers that work with us. We have a great staff. I mean, we do. There's so much love and affection in some of the videos that they send to us, and they're very hard workers, very hard. I mean, they work morning, noon, and night with these dogs.
Well, yeah, Chinese in general, they're usually very disciplined. I mean, that's what we know them for, very disciplined, culture. And but is there like a permanent manager to oversee these shelter operations, or is Jeff that in China that frequently, or
Jeff is in China very frequently. Yeah, Jeff is in China more than he's in America.
I know. From our
Yeah.
last call, he kept flying back and forth. I was like, I don't know how he does it with the jet lag. But needless to say, the shelters are well looked after, oversaw. There's someone overseeing them.
Yeah, he appoints people, staff members to manage when he's not there.
Okay, excellent. So now let's go back to the process. I'm filling out an application. You eventually give me a call that follows, and like they have to submit pictures, give you a better sense of the home, the family life, and I guess. I'm not sure how you go. Are you the only one who oversees all these applications and does the follow-up calls and the home checks? I mean, or is there a support staff around you? Because I'm assuming this is very time-consuming.
It is very time consuming. No, I do have people that assist me as far as we use a software system called Shelter Love, and so once I approve the applicant, I do have people that assist me with filing everything in the software. But as far as the approval part of it and reading all the applications, that's me.
Oh yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah, I'm the one in charge of approving or not approving. Yeah.
Wow. And what about home checks? Do you do like video, like some people have used Zoom conference to try to get a better sense of the home and Do you do that sort of thing?
In video, yeah. I've had people send videos into me too, but we don't require a video. Just photos is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because for some people it's just easier that way, just to send in the photos, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, people have sent in videos, and it's a useful tool either way. I mean, we just basically want to make sure that the dog is going to a nice, secure home, a safe home. Yeah.
Well, that is the burning question on my mind, because I'm putting myself in your shoes, and these dogs have been through so much, like they've been through hell, literally, and I would want to make sure that they go to the best possible home. At the same time, you can't be overly, overly scrutinizing every applicant. You have to make them feel like there is a trust, a certain degree of trust. But how do you ensure that these dogs are put in the best possible homes? Like, what kind of questions are you asking when you call them, and what kind of assurances are you obtaining to make sure that these people are not just going to adopt and then put the dog in a shelter as soon as it becomes inconvenient?
Well, we have an adoption contract, or an adoption agreement that we call it, that ensures that they can't do that. That they're not allowed to just take the dog and put them in a shelter.
Okay.
Questions that I ask, it's not really questions that I ask, it's more, I have so much experience with a dog, like a 619 dog or 505 dog, which Sunny is.
Yeah.
And I give them actual stories of what I've went through with my own dog, my own experiences, and I basically ask them, are you up for that kind of challenge? Now, all of our dogs are not like that. I mean, I've had dogs that are adopted, and 2 days later, the person's sending me a video of the dog in their lap, and like suddenly they're a lap dog. And so it's not. I mean, it's not all the time that they're nervous, for a lengthy period of time. But just in that event that would happen, I need them to understand that this is not a dog that you're going to get from a pet store. This isn't going to be this instant. Oh, this is going to be my best friend and we're going to have so much fun. Sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes these dogs need work. They need time. They need love and understanding. And I need to kind of gauge the person to see if I feel like they're going to be able to give that kind of love, understanding, and attention. Now, most of the time when somebody's done this kind of footwork to want to be a part of something, a mission that we are, they're already ready to do this. They want to.
Yeah.
They've already Googled everything to do with dog meat markets and stuff like that. So they want to help. They want to be part of the solution. There's only been a few people I've ever said, talked to Jeff and said, no, I just really don't feel like this is a good fit for that kind of dog.
Yeah.
But then I just redirect them to a dog that I think would be easier, a better fit for them.
Right. Well, that's something that you bring about that I was curious. Most of the applicants are people that are aware of the dog meat trade and they actually want to make a difference, So would you say the majority of your applicants are well aware of the dog meat trade, and you don't need to educate them on that front, So is that the case, or?
I would say, okay, so you've got two kinds of people. I would say two kinds of adopters. You got the kind of adopter that has just Googled everything and they know it all, and they know exactly what they're getting into. And then you got your adopter that knows there's a such thing as the dog meat market, but they don't want to see any images. They don't want to actually get too involved in it. They just want to save it. And then that's when I have to explain to them what actually goes on, what these dogs have been put through, experience such trauma, and they need to be aware of that before they adopt, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I understand not wanting to see the images because it is pretty shocking and it's kind of scarring, if you will. But it's important to, on your journey, if you want to really make a difference in a cause, you need to kind of face the reality of what these dogs have gone through, and realize that this is not your typical dog. And like you said, Some dogs will rebound very quickly. I mean, some dogs have maybe not been through as much trauma as other dogs, but they've all suffered, obviously. But it depends on the dog. And I guess you're the best person to know, is this the right family? Will they have the proper amount of patience and to see it through? Because like you mentioned, your dog Sunny, it took you 8 months before you could actually touch her. So they have to be prepared to do the same. Yeah. I'm curious, you've been working with No Dogs Left Behind at this point for 2 years or about 3 years? What would you say?
I've been working there for almost 2 years.
Okay, because one of my questions is, at this stage, we're in 2020, I think they started doing rescues in 2016 or was it more 2017?
2017, yeah.
Okay, so how many dogs have been successfully adopted out from No Dogs Left Behind? Do you have an idea?
I do. So by the numbers in our system, we've had about 375 adopted dogs.
Oh,
And
wow.
then but that's not including all of the dogs that go to shelters that we partner with that help us out and take some of our dogs as well.
Oh, okay, so shelter partners in the US or?
Like the Freedom Project, how they just took some of our beagles.
Yes, I heard about that, and I think there's a golden rescue in Florida as well that partners up.
We partnered with Golden Bond Rescue as well.
Okay, so upwards of like close to 400 and up.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
easy.
wow. So that's amazing. In 3 years, like that's a lot of dogs, And you still, at this stage, you still have about 165 dogs left at the China shelters, or?
That are adopted that need to fly home. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going to be talking about these dogs. We're going to feature 10 of them today. But before we go on to that, I just have a few more questions about adopting, the adoption process. What would you say are the top things that families considering adopting a survivor should consider before, applying? For example, my hesitation has always been, I don't know if he's still around. I had a cat. My cat was in the back there, but I guess he ran away. My hesitation has to do with my 2 cats, because cats don't like change. And my cats in particular, when we changed homes in 2017. And one of them really had a bad reaction. We thought he would be loving this new home because it's bigger, he's got a nice yard. But the cat developed like a nervous tic and he started pulling out his hair from his stomach. And we weren't sure what was going on. We tried allergy tests and all that. And we changed his diet. We changed the litter. And it seems like a nervous reaction, like anxiety driven. And so I was like, oh my God, if I bring a dog, let alone another cat in the house, I would be apprehensive. And especially a dog that's been traumatized, you figure you probably need to take a lot more time and care with a dog like that. So, and also my other reason why I haven't adopted one yet is that I have a full-time job, my husband as well. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, right now I'm at home, I'm working from home, but normally I'm at the office most of the day. And so is that something that you have to consider? Like, does someone always have to be home with a dog like that at the beginning?
It's helpful. It's definitely helpful that the dog has somebody at home to help them acclimate to their environment and to people. Typically, I've had people want to adopt a dog that works 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, and they pick a dog that's just really needs a lot of work, and that's just not
compatible. It's not compatible.
No, that's not the right fit. So typically when somebody would want to adopt, I would ask, how's your home environment? How many people are home, in the day and then at night, what's your work schedule like?
Yeah.
like that. I mean, I definitely need to know that just to see, like who's going to be caring for the dog? How long is he going to be alone? Is he going to be in a crate for more than 4 hours? Things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you suggest that the dogs be kept in a crate when they're not, there's no one around to look after them? Or is that something, because I don't have that much experience with dogs. I have them with cats, and I never put my cats in a crate, obviously.
Right. Well, I think it's more like a personal choice. Now, I have 3 dogs from China, and I don't crate them.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm home a lot though. Actually, I work from home too. So I don't crate my dogs. I've actually never crated any dogs. But some people do. Sometimes dogs actually like their crate. They almost look at it like a little safe space.
Yeah, that's
I know.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, when Sunny came home, when you adopt from us, you get to keep the air crate that comes with the dog at the airport. And when I brought her in the crate, every time people would walk by her, she would want to walk back in and kind of retreat into that crate because it was a familiar smell, and she had already been. So some dogs like it, and I always recommend that when the dog comes home to leave that crate on the floor with the door open so they can come in and out as they please.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's the closest thing to home that she had at that point, like the crate was her familiar space. But, I've had some colleagues tell me they adopted a dog and they leave it in a crate, and I'm like, that sounds horrible. Like, personally, I'm just like, man, what if the dog wants to take a, I don't know, like, I guess a cat goes, it's not the same concern because I think dogs, they have a tendency to eat anything they see, or they could eat something that would be bad for them, and they can, when they're feeling insecure, maybe they can do a little damage to the furniture, that kind of thing. So I guess those are the reasons. But ideally, the ideal family would have someone that's a little bit more present at home, especially at the first month or two that the dog arrives. I imagine that's part of the recommendations. If you
Yes. Well, especially with just certain types of dogs. I mean, like the dogs that I know that are already scared and timid and just need that extra attention, I make sure that they go into a home that can provide that extra attention for sure.
Absolutely. And when Jeff was on the podcast, he told me, because another concern is that you have to have a fenced-in yard, but he doesn't believe that's necessary. I mean, he raised dogs in an apartment, as long as you're able to take them for walks and that kind of thing. So don't need a fenced-in yard for families that are concerned.
No, not at all. All we require as far as the yard is that you're just a responsible dog, adopter, and that you're going to keep an eye on your dog, and you're going to have them leashed if they're in a space that's not fenced in. Of course, we always ask those questions, and we have a lot of people that will want to adopt from us, but they'll call me first and they'll say, well, I don't have a yard. Is it okay that I adopt? I live in an apartment. And well, of course it's okay that you adopt. I mean, these dogs need homes, and as long as they're responsible, it's totally fine.
Okay, so it opens up a lot more options, like if someone doesn't need a yard, they can definitely adopt. And it's all part of the process. You're going to ask them the right questions. And so, if you see a dog on your website that you're inspired, well, just go ahead and apply, and then you can take it from there, because you're going to ask all the right questions, and we'll be able to determine if it's a good fit. But I just, drawn from your own experience with a dog like Sunny that was very traumatized, can you give us an idea of the tips and tricks that you've learned that help a dog like that acclimate a little bit, make her transition a little bit easier? Do you have any tips and recommendations?
I do. So when you have a dog that retreats and hides and is that timid, the way Sunny was, and sometimes still can be, it just depends, on her mood. I always recommend that you sit on the floor. And I know that sounds, to some people, they're like, why? Well, you're on her level. You're not standing above them now. You're on their level. And I don't really make eye contact when I'm trying to, any dog, because I've worked with other rescues before this, and if you want a dog to trust you, you can't sit there and stare him down. So I would always recommend just to sit, have a treat pouch, with something yummy that they can smell, and
Yeah.
let them come to you. I mean, make them do a little work, make them come to you, and then you hand them the treat, and then just, eventually you're the treat lady or the treat guy. It's
Yes.
reinforcement. So, yeah, anytime you have a scared dog, loud noises are definitely not okay. I mean, try to keep things down to a minimal, because any loud noise when she came home was just super scary. I mean, even laughter, just hearing, my kids laugh really loud, kind of,
Yeah, it
trigger.
is. It must
Yeah.
be making her jump a little bit, and like, and I think Jeff even said like a vacuum could sound like a blowtorch. I mean, you have a cheat sheet. Let's just mention that to prospective families. You are equipped with not only a crate that they came in, you get a dog lead, and you get a cheat sheet. And what does the cheat sheet say, for example? Like just things to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah, it's basically just an instructional guide of like do's and don'ts, because again, this is a different kind of adoption, a different kind of, a whole different kind of experience in life, that very traumatic things and things that you just wouldn't think about. Like, I know that Jeff had told me that, the one day I was outside raking leaves and I just got Sunny, and as soon as I went to grab the rake, her and Charlie, my daughter's dog, just started and ran off into the corner.
Ooh.
And I was like, gosh, I like, what? And so I called Jeff, and he said about, they take sticks and they smack them and they hit them. And that's what they're probably worried about, is when I grabbed something, they thought that I was going to swing it
Oh
their
my
way.
God.
So things like that, it's going to tell you things that you probably wouldn't think of. You just wouldn't think of those things.
That's it. Oh my God, it's heartbreaking, when you think of it. These dogs have lived through a lot, and they need to trust. But like you said earlier, like some dogs, they do rebound much quicker. It depends on the dog. But everything you've said so far, I can corroborate, because I do volunteer for Humane Society International, and they brought back some dogs from dog meat farm closures in South Korea, and that was always the thing. They said never stare at a dog, because it's confrontational. It's they get on the defensive, like they feel like you're attacking them in a way, like the stare down. And also the same thing that you said is to get at their level, at eye level, and not be domineering, not be, like your body language, essentially you have to watch that. And it does work, because the dogs, when you let them come to you, they eventually do, and that way they feel safer about it. That you're working with their pace and not yours, like you're not forcing it. So,
Well, I use a lot of adopters, and I tell them all the time, I know you want, when they come home, you want to just keep giving them treats and treats, and you feel so sorry because of where they came from, but you want to make them, if they're that scared, you want to make them kind of come to you for that treat. You want to have them earn it a little bit, so that way they know, okay, so when I go to her, something good happens. So, and that's pretty much that's basically the biggest thing I tell them to do, and it's worked every time.
Oh,
I mean,
yes, it does. It's positive reinforcement, like you said. It's part of training. A lot of people will use treats to, like reinforce the behavior they want to see. So all that is great. And I just wanted to touch upon one of your more famous adoption stories, and that was with when Tinsley Mortimer of Real House of New York fame. She traveled in 2019 to China as a volunteer for No Dogs Left Behind, and she ended up adopting two adorable poodles named Strawberry and Shortcake. And I'm just curious how that came about. Like, did someone in the organization know Tinsley, or did she approach you guys?
I actually, when Tinsley came on board, she came on board before I did. So I actually wasn't there when she came on board.
Okay, yeah.
I'd love to have met her. She was, I've heard only good things. When she was at the sanctuary, she worked very hard with the dogs.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, yeah, she wasn't
like a princess or a diva.
and work with those dogs. She was amazing.
Okay, well, so see, I mean, I think it's been well publicized, and she's very happy with her little poodles, and we even got to see it on the show for anyone watching that show. So let's move on to our famous 10 dogs that we want to showcase. I think it might be more 9 because one of them recently had an application come in, and that is Hex, I think.
Yeah, Hex has an application, so I'm working with his adopter, his potential adopter right now, which is exciting.
Sounds exciting to me. I don't know if I'm going to obviously be showcasing some videos of these dogs and pictures, but are you able to give us a little brief description of each if I name them?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll start with number 1, Chi Chi. What's her story? I have a feeling she's a female.
Oh, yeah, Chi-Chi's a female. She's 6'19". She's a little timid still, but friendly all at the same time. She's submissive. She's got the cutest underbite I have ever seen. I can't even. I know, she's so sweet. She's been there, like I said, since 6/19, 2017. Again, the dogs like her and the ones that I suggested to be on the show tonight are dogs that have been there for years, and they're overlooked. And I just wanted to give them a little bit of attention that they deserve because they're all great dogs.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And so Chi Chi, what kind of dog is she?
Chi-Chi is a Gendo mix. Most of the dogs that I'm bringing today to you to show, yeah, they're all mixed dogs. The mixed dogs are very good dogs, but again, they get overlooked, I think, because we do have golden retrievers and Sammies and Corgis, and those dogs get a little bit more attention. So, yeah, I'd like to bring attention to some of the dogs that really need it.
Absolutely. What about Deborah? What can you tell us about her?
Deborah is an amazing dog as well. Another 6'19" dog. She's more of like a shepherd mix. Really sweet. She gets along really good with people, our staff. She's not as timid as some of the other dogs have been. She's definitely come a long way.
And do you have an idea of the age about? Is she very young or?
All these dogs that we're talking about today are between like 4 and 6 years old.
Yeah, well, they've already been at your shelter for 3 years, so we know they have to be a little bit older.
Yeah,
than
so
3.
this is just a guesstimation. It's about 4 to 6 years old.
Yeah. Okay. And Ganache, I'm not clear. Is that a male or a female?
Yeah, she's a female.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a lot of females, and I think females. Personally, I have a male and a female cat, and my female cat is like loves to be pet. You know, she's a lap cat. And my male cat, not at all. Like, you know, really, it's rare that you can have a hug with him. So maybe it's a good thing, you know, female dogs are often more docile, would you say, or depends?
I would say that in my experience, as just a dog owner, that female dogs are a little bit more submissive. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's in their temperament, I guess. And Kaylee, another female dog that we are showcasing, 619 truck as well, or?
Okay, so Kaylee and Riley are both on that list, and the reason I have them both on there is because they are a bonded pair. They were rescued, and yes, they were rescued off the truck together. They were in the same crate, and they're completely just inseparable. It would be a dream come true to get those two adopted together. They're very well behaved. They're very sweet dogs. They are home ready. They're ready to go to a home.
Wow. Okay, so that's Kaylee and Riley. Any other couples in the dogs that we're showing? Is there another one?
There is Big Yellow and Rex.
Okay, Rex I see, and who's the other one?
Big Yellow.
Oh, okay, okay. Big Yellow and Rex, and same situation. They were rescued together.
Yes, and they're actually really sweet because Big Yellow is the bigger one, Henson, and Rex is smaller. Rex is he's more like a terrier mix, where Big Yellow is more like a lab mix.
Okay.
And the bigger one more leans on the little one as a security blanket. Like, just, you know, I think he brings him out of his shell because Rex is more of the playful one, and then, you know, Big Yellow kind of So
It would be
I
great to have them
yeah,
together. Yeah.
they need to be adopted out together. I would hate to separate them. They've been together for so long.
At this stage, yeah, it would definitely be beneficial to both of them and to the family, probably, if they
Yes.
can, support each other in this new home. And so I think we have Life and Spud and Sandwich. Is that, did I get those names right?
Yeah, you did. The sandwich is a name that everybody inquires about. Like, who named that dog that? I'm not really sure. But she is sweet, and she's another one with a cute little underbite. She's a very nice dog. We've featured her a couple times on Facebook and Instagram just because myself and Deborah, our social media director, we love her little face, and she's just very energetic and very playful, and she would make a great dog for anybody that has kids and a family. She's
Wow.
wonderful. Same with Spud.
Okay.
Spud is a really great dog. She's a shepherd mix. She has been bred, I think, before. When she came in, you could tell that she was probably bred a few times. She's very sweet, though. She can walk on a leash. She can get a little nervous here and there, but for the most part, she's pretty well adjusted at this point,
Wow.
and ready for a home. And who else did we say?
Life.
Life. Oh, okay.
I
How
like
can
that name as opposed to Sandwich. Life is a good name.
Yeah. Life is a Gendo mix as well, and stunning. I've never
Wow.
seen a dog look like him. He is just absolutely striking. And so some people will look at him just because of that piercing look, and they might be like, "Oh no," but he's the sweetest. He is the sweetest dog. He's very
Wow.
well behaved. Just such a beautiful boy, and has definitely been at our sanctuary way too long. He needs some attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, all these dogs, if you are interested, please go check out the links that I will be posting in the description box and put in an application. And then you can investigate further. And we want obviously Kaylee and Riley to be adopted together, ideally. And then we had another couple, Rex and Big Yellow, right? Okay,
Yep.
so those are the couples. If anyone out there has a big heart, please do consider. And I think it's a life-changing experience for obviously the dog, but definitely the adopter as well, because at that point you have an ambassador for the cause. And just talking with your network, your community, your family, everyone gets to learn about this amazing this great issue, and hopefully it'll enlist more supporters, and maybe inspire other adopters to come forth. So wonderful. And I guess I just wanted to touch upon briefly the COVID-19 pandemic and how this has challenged you and the rescue work that you do. Can you tell us, like, from the moment it hit? I guess the peak of it was really in March or February, March, and the cases escalated quickly. And can you tell us a little bit more how this has challenged the work that you do in China?
Well, as far as the work that they do in China, how it's the biggest challenge with COVID-19 that I could think of is the fact that we have so many dogs adopted, but we couldn't move dogs because of the transports being hindered. So, if you're at capacity of dogs, you can't go out and do as many emergency responses as you did before. So ultimately we need to move the dogs to make space for more dogs. So that in itself, yes, that definitely
And if
hindered
I'm
us.
not mistaken, well, there was a lockdown period where no one was allowed to go in and out of the shelter, and that was a big problem because a lot of your staff, they had been traveling because it was
Yes,
Lunar New Year, and so that's a time of year in China where people go see their families and relatives, and so
right.
you were left with a skeleton staff, if any,
We
and
very short staffed. Yes.
exactly. But on the flight front, at this stage, like you were finally able to fly these dogs home, and I know a lot of the people adopted a dog early, maybe late 2019 or early 2020, before really the big of the pandemic hit, and they had to wait and wait, and it must have caused a lot of anxiety and some of them. At this stage, are you able to fly dogs out? Like, is there still travel restrictions related to animals, especially? So, what's the situation?
There's basically the passenger planes and airlines that we used to take traditionally are not flying dogs from China into the U.S. So now we are moving into the cargo type flights, which is more expensive, and it's something that we were not ever really familiar with, so we had to learn the processes of that. So yes, essentially we can fly them out that way, but again, it wasn't when these adopters adopted these dogs, that wasn't the assumption of how things were going to go. So we had to have these conversations and explain, this isn't us that's doing this. I mean, this is the only option that we had right now to fly them out. And everybody's been very receptive and understanding of it and supportive, which we love. We love our adopters for that. We've had, like, we just had dogs that went home to LAX that have been adopted for almost a year, and they waited for almost a year. I mean, that is dedication and devotion right there. So yeah, we can fly dogs out right now, but it's just in a different method. It's just a method of transport that we haven't really done before now.
It's more costly too at this point. Yeah,
it is. The cost is inflated.
And what about flight volunteers? Is that still a possibility if you have anyone traveling to China and that are from the States or Canada? Are they able to apply to be a flight volunteer? Or?
Right now, if anyone flies into China that's not a Chinese resident would be quarantined for 2 weeks.
Well, yes, of course, yeah.
They'd have to be quarantined. And if they have so basically they could fly a dog home with them, but we couldn't do it with the way we traditionally did it. We couldn't do 9. We were doing 9 dogs at a time, which 8 of them would go into cargo and 1 would go in the cabin with the flight volunteer, which it wouldn't be that way now because we wouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that you could actually have your dog with you in your passenger seat. I didn't know that.
They have to be a certain size. They have to be under.
Yeah, a smaller dog, of course. So at this point, that's not really possible, or it is possible to have a flight volunteer, but it'll be vastly different. I guess the dogs would be in cargo.
Right now, with the way that we're flying dogs, the cargo that we're flying, it doesn't require a flight volunteer.
Okay.
We don't. Yeah, we're able to fly a multitude of dogs in one flight, and that's just a cargo flight. So we wouldn't need a passenger. Are you able to,
because I from my other podcast, I did learn that a flight volunteer can cut the cost of travel in half at times. It depends on the country, of course, but can you talk about how this has increased the cost, like by how much, now that you have to fly the dogs using alternative methods?
I would say, and all of our adopters have the cost breakdown that I've sent, but I would say if you were to take their original cost that they paid for their dog, and you would probably have to double or triple it. It's been the increase has been outrageous. I mean, and it's very hard for some of the adopters to swallow. And we understand that. We're not saying that anybody has to do that, because if you don't have that to give
the means, that's it. So you would have to wait.
Finding everybody with a fundraiser, so they can set up their own fundraiser links.
Yes.
Dog, and that has been fruitful for many people, and we're still encouraging them to fundraise.
Absolutely, that's a great idea. And is there light at the end of the tunnel? I mean, we don't know how long these restrictions are going to be in place, or do you have a better idea than us?
I wish I did.
I know.
we all live in COVID world right now, so it's just everything. It's changing on a daily. I wish I had a steady for
Yeah.
sure answer.
Well, I
I
guess
don't.
the encouraging news is that there is a vaccine that seems to be out, and hopefully will create that inoculation that is well needed. But, it's hard to say at this point. So you're looking either you have to be more resourceful and maybe crowd fund for your dog, or you're going to have to wait, I guess, a little bit longer. And okay, so I know that you're not going to be giving an official statement of what's going on in China in terms of the changes that we've seen post COVID-19, but I was just curious what your own personal opinion is, because it's a hot topic. A lot of people are wondering when it first came out that the Ministry of Agriculture of China decided to designate dogs as companion animals. That was in April of this year. And also what followed up is the National Post-COVID-19 Catalog of Livestock explicitly removed dogs. They were never really on the livestock catalog, but the government did make an official statement on that they were explicitly not to be exploited as livestock. What is your opinion of this? And do you think it will lead to changes that are more concrete, or is it a question that every city can now officiate a ban on the trade, like Shenzhen and Zhuhai and Leixi did in September? That was the most recent city that put an official ban on the dog cat meat trade consumption and sell. It's not just a matter of it's illegal to sell dog meat, it's illegal to consume it. And that's the most important part, because, we want to just eradicate this. I guess your thoughts on these changes and how you see that, leading to future change.
Well, first of all, I definitely think that the pandemic led to those decisions, because, think about the words wet market. A lot of people didn't know what that was, right? And then the pandemic hit, and they're like, oh, what's this wet market? Let me Google it. And they're seeing all these different animals, right? But then they see a dog or a cat hanging there. And that was like, whoa. So everybody was becoming outraged, and people were looking and pointing fingers like, this can't happen. Yeah. So, yeah. Even though the dog and the cat meat industry over there is something that is known, people don't really dive into it and look. So once they saw those images, everybody was staring, everybody was looking, and they weren't looking away. So I definitely think that had a lot to do with that. And in my opinion, I feel like with other cities and provinces, it's going to be kind of like a domino effect at some point. I do think that we're all moving in the right direction of change. It just takes time, and it takes all of us have to keep pounding our fists, signing those petitions, and spreading the word, letting people know, this is going on. So many people out there still don't know. They just don't want to see it, or they just don't know. So that's how to educate.
Absolutely, and I think it was an opportunity to, realize what your own habits, if you will. I, for one, am vegan like you, and I did stress that my uncles that were complaining about being confined in their home. I said, well, you have no idea what confinement means. Go look at a footage of a factory farm, look at a pig and a gestation crate, and tell me what confinement is, because it's an opportunity to awaken to what our own habits, consumption choices are leading, and it's only going to continue. It's not going to be the last pandemic. It certainly is not the first. It's the longest one, I think, at the stage, COVID-19. But, definitely we have to have those conversations and introspection and look at how you're contributing to this, because it boils down to our habits, our demand, what we're demanding. People wouldn't shop at a wet market, maybe none of this would be happening. And And also the fact that we have our own wet markets here in the US, and I'm sure in Canada as well, I had no idea. I had no idea, and I found out that there was upwards of 80 wet markets in New York alone.
Yes, I found out probably the same time you did once this pandemic hit, and everybody started talking about the wet markets. And one of our staff members who lives in New York, and she is a very, very big vegan activist, love her, and I love her. She brought that to my attention, that there's wet markets in New York, and I had no idea. I had no idea. Yeah.
Well, like and you look at that footage and you're like, I would lose my appetite personally. Absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, the government statement from China is an encouraging sign. It is saying, it is speaking to the people, and as I'm sure you'll agree, the change has to come from within. We can yell and scream and shame and blame all we want all day long, but at the end of the day, it's not going to change what's going on within those borders. It really has to come from them. And especially, a country like China, it's a communist regime, so the government taking a stand like this, it is encouraging because it's kind of giving the blessing to any provincial, municipal government to instill those bans. And that's really important because they do look towards the government as, to get their stamp of approval, if you will,
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, also, it's important to know that dog meat consumption is not widespread in China. It is still, like 20% of the population that might consume it on a regular basis. Others will partake in it occasionally, on special events or holidays, if you will, but it's not that widespread. But the fact that the country is so big, so largely populated, does render big numbers. 10 million dogs a year,
A year. Yes. Yep.
And still to this day, and so we all hope for change, and change will come, but it's going to take some time and a little bit patience. And you mentioned something important. We all have to be part of that,
Yes.
making
Absolutely.
a change. One change that we're all waiting for, and I'm really hoping that this pandemic will have, escalated made it more of a priority. Is China has no animal welfare laws, and
Right.
that's disconcerting. That in 2020, a country like China, it's a big economy, it's the second largest economy in the world, still has no animal protection laws. And
It's very disheartening. It's almost like an anything goes, and that's ultimately why No Dogs Left Behind started. I mean, No Dogs Left Behind was a group of activists going into China just trying to make change.
yeah.
And that's why we will always be there. We'll be there until it happens.
Amen to that. I mean, I'm right along with you. I mean, we all need to band together and make change happen. And it will happen. It's just a question of time. So I think we can be encouraged by what we've been talking about today. And we'll continue the fight and, definitely support No Dogs Left Behind. And please, if you have it in your heart to adopt one of these survivors, please do follow up and apply and make that life-changing, decision.
I mean, and it's not just life-changing for the dog. I can promise whoever adopts one of these sweet dogs, they'll change your life too. I mean, Sunny is like a soulmate for me, really. I mean, she was very healing in my life. And a lot of our adopters tell me just that watching the healing that they're helping this dog, it actually heals them in a sense too.
100%, I believe that wholeheartedly. I have my own experience with my cats. They've changed my life. Honestly, it's amazing what an animal brings. That energy, they're healing. They're very healing. So, and they're their greatest teachers. They've taught me to be patient. They've taught me to be more compassionate. And so it's a gift to yourself, really. If you adopt a dog, especially a dog that's been through so much, it's a gift to yourself. So,
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
thank you so much, Brandy, for your time today. You've been very generous, and I do encourage everyone to go check out the No Dogs Left Behind website. We'll post all the links. You have social media links as well, like Facebook. You have the group that we were talking about earlier, Yulin Adoption Survivors, or
It's called Yulin Dog Adopters Support Group on Facebook.
yes, and so you can be part of that family and get to make great friends in the by joining. Okay, well, thank you, Brandy, and take care, and definitely we'll stay in touch.
All right, thanks, Jade.
All right, bye-bye.
Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind. This is Chi-Chi. You all saw Chi-Chi outside with her buddies. A little bit of TLC, a little bit of love. Chi-Chi's about 4 years old. Look at that amazing underbite. Look at her, she's so good. She's not gonna hurt you. She's not gonna hurt anybody. I would trust her with anybody. She's more fearful of humans. I'm sure she'll be release chained really rapidly. She's a 619 survivor, stuffed into a slaughter butcher cage. Rescued by brave activists and No Dogs Left Behind from the illegal dog traffickers. The most historic truck to date that I know of, the 619 truck interception. We can't continue to intercept dog trafficking trucks and shut down slaughterhouses without getting dogs like Chi-Chi into their forever loving home. Please. Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind. This is Deborah. My God, Deborah, you're a 619 survivor. Rescued by No Dogs Left Behind, brave activists. Deborah was heading to be slaughtered. Can you imagine? Such a beautiful pup heading to be slaughtered. Deborah, you're so sweet. You're such a good girl. No Dogs Left Behind is calling on an adopter to adopt this beautiful soul. We can't continue to rescue, shut down slaughterhouses, intercept dog trafficking trucks, and Yulin if we can't find these dogs their forever loving homes. Yes, baby. Yes, can I have a kiss too? Can I have a kiss too? Can I have a kiss too? Tell everybody how gentle you are. How gentle you are with taking that. Oh my God, I love your hand and paws. You're like my hand. I love it. I love you. I love you. You're such a, I say no more about Deborah. We need somebody to step up. What a beautiful dog. Approximately 4 years old. No Dogs Left Behind is calling on you to help get Deborah adopted. Come on, Deborah, let's go, sweetie. Let's show everybody how you're amazing walking on a leash. Amazing with other dogs. Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind. Deborah. Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind. This is Ganache. Oh my God. I mean, what an incredible dog. What an incredible dog. Ganache is a 505 survivor. Oh, Ganache, you're so sweet. Oh, Ganache. Come here, Ganache. Yulin survivor, 505 Yulin survivor. No Dogs Left Behind is calling on any adopter out there to help adopt Ganache. What they've been through is incredible. No Dogs Left Behind, Allied forces intercept dog trafficking trucks heading. This is a Yulin survivor. Yes, Ganache. Nobody's ever going to hurt you, Ganache. Yes, sweetie. You're amazing. A germ. Oh my God, great for height. Yes, sweetie. Yes, sweetie. Yes, sweetie. What are you worried about? Don't be worried. Don't be worried, sweetie. Don't be worried, sweetie. Don't be worried. Come on, Ganache. Come on, Ganache. Come on, sweetie. Okay. Rescued by brave activists and No Dogs Left Behind, heading to Yulin. Ganache is available for adoption, approximately 4 years old. One incredible dog, one incredible Yulin survivor. For more information, actually great, by the way, great with other dogs. You'll see Ganache playing with other dogs in the park. We need to find their forever loving home. We can't find dogs like Ganache, their forever loving home. Look how gentle it is, taking treats out of my hand. I would trust Ganache with other kids, other dogs. I just can't say enough about Ganache. It's one incredible dog, one incredible Yulin survivor. Contact No Dogs Left Behind for more information to adopt Ganache. This is Kaylee and Riley. Come on, guys. Come in a controlled manner. Kelly and Riley are brothers and sisters, obviously. They are approximately 3 years old, 2 to 3 years old. Can I put one of you guys on a leash? Absolutely. I would absolutely trust them. Come on, Theo. Come on, guys. Ready to go back? Come on, guys. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go. The dogs understand the control. As you can see, Kylie, she follows around. Come on, let's go. March 30th, 2020, Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind, Kylie and Riley. Kaylee and Riley, sorry. 3130, Kaylee and Riley, 3940, the tip number, Riley 2209. This is Kaylee and Riley. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, Come here. Oh my God, you're both beautiful. Come on. Come on. Come on. They're more fearful. I mean, I could put them on a leash, but we're gonna have to put one of you guys on a leash. Oh, okay. See, still, this is a work in process. Definitely a bonded pair. If you want two dogs that are together, I mean, literally, they follow each other around. Come on, let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, come on. Okay, we're going to do some closed working. Come on, sweetie. Come here, sweetie. Come here, Okay, you're good. This is Riley and Kaylee. Kaylee will follow Riley around everywhere. This is definitely a bond. I won't adopt these guys out without being together. Whatever brave hero adopter adopts these dogs, you're getting two incredibly beautiful, precious dogs, pearl white teeth. They're not more than 2 years old. That's for sure. I mean, I just can't tell the exact age. You know, we've rescued so many dogs. This is Riley. We can't continue to intercept dog trafficking trucks and shut down slaughterhouses without getting dogs like Riley. I've got Riley on our No Dogs Left Behind slip lead collar, which is perfect for training because it gives a little bit of tension, but it doesn't dig in. Come on, sweetie. They're a bonded pair, available for adoption. We can't continue to shut down slaughterhouses, intercept dog trafficking trucks. Come on, guys. Come on, sweetie. Yes, come here, sweetie. Come here. Come here, sweetie. Here. Using positive reinforcement training. I mean, this one doesn't even need to go on a leash because she's not going anywhere without her big sister, with her sister. Here you go, sweetie. Beautiful eyes. I can't speak enough about them. Okay, sweetie. Come here, Riley. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Are you? Come here, Riley. Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind. Be a brave hero of mine. We need to get Kylie and Riley into a forever loving home. We want to end Yulin. We want to intercept dog trafficking trucks. We want to shut down slaughterhouses, but we got to get dogs like these into a forever loving home. Thank you. Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind. Kylie and Riley. I'm not even going to try to pick you up, sweetie. Let's go. Come on, sweetie. Come on, let's go. Come on. Bonded pair. Come on, guys, go. Go. I mean, you could, if anyone who wants two dogs, it's an amazing bonded pair. And they're just amazing dogs together. Oh my God, Rex, come here, Rex, come here. Oh my God, Rex, 619 survivor. Incredible dog. Here, Big Yellow. Yes, sweetie. Hello, sweetie. Hello, sweetie. Hello, sweetie. Wow. This is a favorite. These guys got to get into. I mean, this is like the dream. Yes, Rex. Yes, Rex. You don't even want to treat. You just want to play and be loved. Please contact No Dogs Left Behind Adoption. Come here, Rex. Come here, sweetie. Come here, Rex. You don't even want to treat. You just want to be loved. I know, sweetie. I know. You just want to be loved. That is incredible. You just want to be loved. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. Oh, you want a treat too? Okay. Okay, guys. Let's get you back into your rooms. Oh, come on, guys. Let's go. Ready? Come on, guys. Let's go. Ready? Come on, let's go. Come on, guys. Ready? Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, Rex. Come on, Big Yellow. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. This is Rex and Big Yellow. This is their room. They live together. We need a hero to adopt these dogs. Help me. Help me fight the fight. Help me find a forever loving home for these two amazing dogs that have learned to trust again. 619 Yulin survivors. Rex and Yellow. Rex and Big Yellow. Yes. Yes, guys. What are you doing? You're both ready. I mean, these are two amazing dogs ready for adoption. I mean, you could, if anyone who wants two dogs, it's an amazing bonded pair. And they're just amazing dogs together. They're doing their thing like any other dogs would do. Come here. Come here, Rex. Yellow. Yes, Big Yellow. Yes, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's play. I say no more. We gotta get Rex and Big Yellow into a forever loving home. Come here, guys. Yay, Big Yellow. Yay, Big Yellow. You're so good. I love you so much. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I got hugs and kisses. This is a hugs and kisses happy family, dogs. I trust them with kids. I mean, you can see it for yourself, folks. I mean, this is what it's about. I couldn't touch Big Yellow. I first got Big Yellow off the truck. It's amazing. Has a little bit of a deformity with his back left leg, but that doesn't stop Big Yellow from running like a champ. Oh my God. It was, I believe, suspected to be broken by the butchers. Sometimes they break their legs so they can't run away. But one incredible dogs. Rex, can I put a collar on you? Can I put a collar on you? Oh my God, look at this. Let's go for a walk. Oh my God, look how good you are. I can't speak enough for Big Yellow. I need a hero, man. This is an adoption emergency. Yellow's got to get out. Big Yellow and Rex have got to get out. Be my hero. Be a hero for the movement. Help us end Yulin. Help us intercept dog trafficking trucks and shut down slaughterhouses. Big Yellow, you're my hero, man. Oh my God, I got your hair cut. There you go, sweetie. You did so great. You make me so proud. I love you. I love you too, Rex. Love you guys. Guys, say goodbye to the camera. Yeah. Jeff Beri, No Dogs Left Behind. This is Rex and Big Yellow. 619. These are my pick of the month. You're not going to find a better, happier, friendlier dogs that would appreciate so much to be in a forever loving home. Please contact No Dogs Left Behind Adoption. Come on, let's go. Come on, guys, let's go. Let's go. Yes, sweetie. Okay. Positive reinforcement. Yes, sweetie. We're gonna find you a home. You see, they just need a little bit of TLC, a little bit of reassurance that we're not gonna beat them and torture them and toss them into a cage and scream at them. They're so fearful of humans. Get. Get name. Okay, so I'm gonna put you down, sweetie. I'll put you down, sweetie. You don't have to be scared. Nobody's ever gonna hurt you. Here you go, sandwich. Here you go, sweetie. Here you go. Yeah, see? See? This is not bad. Nobody's gonna hurt you. We're not gonna let anybody ever hurt you. We intercepted a dog trafficking truck. This is Spud. Spud's about 4 years old. She's about 4 years old. She's one incredible girl. I love her very much. And we can't continue to intercept dog trafficking trucks and shut down slaughterhouses without having your support, without getting dogs like Spud into their forever loving home. And as you can see, we can take Spud on a leash, of course, positive reinforcement training, and the No Dogs Left Behind safety slip lead. Yes, come on, Spud. Come on, Spud. Please contact No Dogs Left Behind for adoption for Spud. Come here, sweetie. Yes, sweetie. Can I put you? Okay, sweetie. So obviously, yeah, you can tell that this dog is used for breeding because she's very sensitive to the back. They probably tied her to poles for breeding. She's been through so much. Let's get her into a forever loving home, right? Right, sweetie? Come on. Come on, see the face. Let's everybody show the face. Look at that face. Look at that face. Yes, sweetie, you're beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I would trust her with kids, family members, no food aggression. She's just one great dog. Spud. Okay, Spud, you did great. You did great, sweetie. You did great. Help No Dogs Left Behind. Adopt Life. I love you, Life. We're gonna get you home, sweetie. Okay? Okay. I would say Life's about 3 years old. If that. 3 years old, yeah, 3 years old. Super cool dog. You see the trap was this paw, and there's some damage done too, but you can see the line there. Okay, Life, I love you. We're gonna get you home.